Here, Schmutzy, sweet baby, where are you? Come on, this is getting scary. I didn't even know we had this fucking room with all this shit bubbling and sparking. Schmutzy! Schmutzy! Oh, Schmutzy, saints preserve us. Schmutzy, suddenly I have religion. I thought I lost you because in my darkest hours I was like, yada yada. What are you covered in? What is this? Goddamn Ninja Turtle ooze? Oh, fuck. Oh, God, it smells awful. All right, let's get you a bath, little lady. Little lady? Little guy? Little lady? You know, whatever. Get you cleaned up. Check out the Science Channel. Slate that unquenchable kitty thirst. You little curious kitty cat mind you got there. Where that knowledge instead of dicking around this spooky ass lab. Oh my God, what is that? Is that all the control panel monitor? Is that Fritz and the gang? What the fuck?
The ladies are triangulating your quantum position. It's going to take a few more episodes.
A few? What's a few? 10? 200?
We don't know. You have to hold on. Once we lock you in position, we can...
No. This has gone on long enough. I don't want ifs or buts.
We had to relocate to the subterranean compound. Our situation was compromised.
Spare me the detail of your failure and contact me back on this channel when you have something intelligent to say.
We have found his body.
Over and out, number 47. And if you bring up classified info over an unsecured channel again, I will demote your goofy ass.
Yes, ma'am. Over and out.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
was
I-
authoritative.
Angela taking Angela down.
I totally heard that.
I would have figured Angela's would have bucked, but she's definitely like established seniority here.
Yeah, she's like totally just spraying the entire area like a dominant cat. That's what they do. That's how they because trust me, my porch right now, like I keep my door open at night because the cats outside have just made it their territory. So yeah, I think she's.
Angela, was that an Angela?
Maybe.
It was totally an Angela. You could tell it was an Angela.
Well,
it was Angela talking to an Angela.
I really can't confirm.
Oh my God.
Who's the what was the body? And
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, whose body?
I don't know. There were two other people talking. Do you think I know what the hell's going on?
You responded back several times.
Well,
I don't understand.
was it me? I don't know.
I heard something.
Was it we?
She's
And
doing
what are
the
we
thing.
doing now?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's doing the
I
thing where
know,
She's
and
not going to answer.
she's in my head.
There's like 100,000 of her out there, and we don't understand. Can she die? Can she not die? Are they clones? What's going on? She always keeps it to herself. I'm freaked out. This is scary.
And where are we, for crying out loud?
No doubt. I hear a bunch of sounds, and they don't sound good because they never have good sounds wherever we are.
Thank you.
It never sounds like a bunch of beers
Just
opening
a
up and
meadow.
people turning on TVs. It's just
Okay.
like a
chirping. and-
Corona commercial.
Shut up, guys. Find a torch. We need some light in here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it is. It's dark,
Yeah,
and
this
I hear
entire
chirping.
usually, how are you doing? But, all right, whatever.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
Civility is dead on Fort Fritz, I believe.
At this point,
Thank you.
And we've almost died or have died.
Come on.
I have a torch.
He took off his clothes again.
Always. Why?
I didn't take off. How dare you?
He just
he
never
still
had
has
them on.
undergarments on.
Thank you.
All the time, though.
But it's multiple.
Now I have them off.
There they are.
I'm so glad the whole place
Well,
is
we
lit
need
up
more
now.
fuel for
Yeah,
the
I-
torch. That's your
Okay,
arm
I-
wrapped in your undergarments and your pants and things like that. So
I
it's
get to-
working for now.
I'm gonna light this. Can I light your other arm on fire?
How are you going to light it on fire?
I got
that.
Flint. I got Flint. And
Okay.
I
Just gonna get
can
all
do
his
this.
arm
This is
hair.
like Pokemon.
Yeah, just wrap your other arm in this. I just happen to have this gasoline-soaked cloth right here.
Oh, nice.
If you could just wrap that around that arm for me, that'd be great. And let's get both these. Okay, and I'm just getting the Flint going there. I was a Weeblo for a while. Do you know
Yeah,
that?
I can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
You're out of
They
practice.
Which is the most awkward name thing for a group of scouts that go out into the forest is Weeblos. But that's
Yeah,
just that's the thing.
I thought it was
But,
because they wobble and they don't fall down. Like
No,
they're very steadfast.
we can be as a people.
How long is this going to take?
Yeah,
to
There you
light?
go. There you go.
Really?
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
my
That's
God.
good. Oh, there you go. That's burning good. That's burning good. Oh, that looks good. It smells like bacon too. I like that. It's like
That's,
It might be
that's the
already his
hair.
arm going.
Yeah.
What are those?
oh jeez. There's things flying around us.
Yeah.
We're in a
There's
cave.
way more kind of like eyes looking back. It sort of seems like a
Yeah.
jewel kind of.
Isn't it weird? You don't see all the eyes without the light.
The light helps for
Yeah.
sure. How's your arm?
You don't.
doing, by the way?
Yeah.
It's fine.
It
That's
smells
fine.
kind of bad.
It smells
okay.
great. It smells delicious. Are
It
you
actually
kidding?
smells fantastic.
If I say so, though, you guys have to put me up, okay?
At some point.
Of course, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
No
we
problem.
gotta check
What's
this
the
out.
I got
word?
this rake
I'm
right
okay.
here.
Okay.
Let me think of the
So
word.
you see
Okay.
Those are bats, right?
Yeah, they look
those
like
are-
bats.
those are
Yeah, they
bats.
definitely look like
They
bats.
yes.
Watch out for
sound
the
like
poop.
bats,
It's kind of toxic.
and that's bat poop.
So what are we gonna do now? We're in a cave. We got at least I'd say 10, 20,000 bats above us.
20,000.
About that, you know. About that.
20,000?
Well, so
But
there's the
they're not
bats.
that big, you know. I mean,
There's the bats, and then there's like the little
Wait a
things.
minute,
They
wait
got
a
like
minute.
ankle bracelets
Yeah, what
or
is that?
something.
What is that?
What?
What are they wearing?
Oh
Are
God,
they on
that's not.
probation? Are these bad bats?
Are you a good bat or a bad bat?
You guys shut up. Fritz, put your arm out.
Like how? Like this?
No, like, put the light out. Stop waving it around like that. You're giving more oxygen.
What do you mean? Like lesser?
You have kill the light, man.
Put your
Stop
put
dropping-
fire on your
stop
arm.
drop and roll.
On guano, it's like
It's toxic.
Do it.
fuel.
He's
Do
got
it, do it,
open
do it,
burns.
do it, do
Just
it, do it.
It's fine.
Just do it. Oh, look at that! He caught into a huge ball of flame. There you go. Oh, that's
Completely
awesome.
engulfed in
Oh
flames.
my
Wait,
God.
wait!
Cover it.
I brought this huge rake. I'm gonna put him out with the rake. There we go. Just putting him out with the rake. There we go. There we go. And one more time. And there. Wait. He looks like he's out, but he's not. You want to make sure. You want to
gotta
make
get
sure.
down to the-
You gotta get
the
really
embers.
good.
Where did
Wait,
you get that
really good.
rake?
That was my face.
How
Stop
did you
it.
even
You
have
good?
that
You
in
good?
here?
What are you,
No, I'm
Bugs
just covered
Bunny?
in bat shit. This sucks.
But at least it's covering you. At least it's covering you. You had no clothes. At least now you have a nice
A
guano
layer.
strap going
What
on.
are we doing here?
Who knows, man?
I've already
sounded
set
so
myself on
honest.
fire and I'm covered in bat shit.
We don't know,
Oh, come on.
but these bats have bombs on them.
What?
What?
No,
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
They're bat bombs.
bat bombs? What do you mean bat bombs?
What is a bat bomb other than something that sounds adorable and like a drink? You know, I'll take 2 bat bombs and
Ooh,
a chaser.
Bat bomb sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do some bat bombs after the show.
You guys want to know what bat bombs are?
Yes.
Yes.
1,000 times yes.
After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, Americans were outraged and looking for ways to get revenge against Japan. And unless you're a big fan of the 1964 classic animation adventure comedy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you'd probably never think that a dentist could have such moxie and try to save the day. Did you ever think a dentist would have moxie?
Never.
No.
No.
Why?
Well, let me introduce
would
you
they?
to Dr. Lytle S. Adams, dentist and World War II weapon creator. Yeah. Let
What a
that sink
dual
in.
identity that guy's
Yeah.
got.
What was his
Yeah.
name again?
Dr. Lytle S. Adams. But, you know, not all doctors are like this, but I feel like some doctors just have such egos, they just feel like they can just do anything.
I can see that.
They're like, I went to school for this, and I feel like I'm also an expert in everything in the world.
That makes sense.
Not
that
all
the
like that, but...
Kruger Dunning.
Yeah, that's the Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger effect.
So, during a vacation of spelunking in the Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico, Dr. Adams, the dentist, became tremendously impressed by the Mexican free-tailed bat. And it was on this vacation that he had turned on the radio to hear about the attack on Pearl Harbor. And it was then that this batty idea came to be.
Oh, I see what you did
Nice
there.
puns.
Yeah, literally bats. Dr. Adams did some research on these bats and went out on his own and actually captured a bunch. And in capturing these bats and studying them, he realized that they were perfect beings for explosive espionage.
Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, go on.
Go on,
Go
Lionel
on.
Adams.
So you're saying these bats
DDS?
have
DDS.
bombs?
Yeah.
Batman.
Bats with bombs.
So think about how bats get inside of buildings and houses, right? People sometimes have to professionally get them removed,
They're
right?
Sneaky.
They can get in your attics,
Sneaky
garages. They can also withstand high altitudes and fly long distances. And I didn't know this, but they can apparently carry heavy loads while flying.
That makes sense.
So Dr. Adams was like, I see your kamikaze airline pilots, and I raise you bat bombs.
They're more affordable, I would imagine.
Yeah. And not bath bombs, which are delightful and their life, but bat bombs and their death. To bats mostly. And I'll be honest, this story disturbs me.
Oh.
More than many I've told, and yes, because it involves the death of sweet, sweet bats who eat bugs and mind their own business.
Right.
Just flying puppies.
And
right?
this evil dentist, basically the inspiration for the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors, decided that these pure creatures were perfect to unknowingly sacrifice themselves for our country. Mexican free-tailed bats, not even American, and obviously not even free.
I'm making bat bombs, and Mexico is going to pay for them.
You're gonna fund them all.
That was nicely done. Nicely said.
So, like most Americans in the 30s and 40s, Dr. Adams, he just had this really weird, skewed vision of Japan, just basically having like paper houses and factories. That's just how he just pictured it.
Well, they did have paper walled houses. That was actually there was actually that actually was a thing. But factories, no
concrete.
Yeah,
but he also kind of thought of it as a shithole.
Yeah, he basically was just like, oh, there's just nothing there. We can totally just have bats go there. And he thought that with enough bat bombs that they could wipe out entire cities by letting bats do what they do best, just hide in dark places. And he actually outlined his plan and sent it to the White House. And man, Daddy, I think this was the original screenplay for the movie Silence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a great cinematic achievement that movie was.
So this plan promised to, quote, frighten, demoralize, and excite the prejudices of the Japanese Empire, that the millions of bats that have for ages inhabited our belfries, tunnels, and caverns were placed there by God to await this hour.
Nice.
And he said that the plan might easily be used against us if the secret is not carefully guarded. He was very paranoid that people would find out about his bat bombs and be like, damn, what a great idea. And then it'd just be like,
against me.
Bats would just take over the world, murder us all.
Bold underline. Again, no bats.
No bats. Don't tell them. We're not using bats. Definitely not bats.
It's something else. I don't know.
Something else? I don't know. Maybe swallows. So that proposal that he wrote up actually made it into President Roosevelt's hands.
You have to be kidding me.
No. And here's why. Apparently this guy had some personal friendship with the First Lady, Eleanor.
Oh.
He knew her somehow.
Intrigue.
President Roosevelt actually passed it along to wartime intelligence, and he actually wrote a note. He wrote, "This man is not a nut."
Roosevelt.
When you have to say that, the guy is totally a nut. No one. If someone has to explain, okay, this guy is not a nut.
Hear me out. Bat bombs. But I know what you're thinking.
He's not a nut. He's a dentist. He's got
This man is not a nut. He's a dentist, for God's sake. Show some respect.
That's fantastic.
And he continued, "It sounds like a perfectly wild idea, but it is worth looking into."
He said wild idea in an official note.
He was hip as hell, man.
Just a little note on the side.
This crap's wacky, I know, but give it a try.
Oh,
he did a little
God.
asterisk because, seriously, this guy's not a nut. This is real.
It's seriously, have him checked.
Roosevelt.
It's all winky face.
So, the proposal is actually taken up by the National Research Defense Committee.
Good for them.
And this guy, Donald Griffin, who had actually conducted groundbreaking work on bats' echolocation, and they were all like, yeah, sure, let's try this out. So, Donald Griffin, he said, "This proposal seems bizarre and visionary at first glance, but extensive experience with experimental biology convinces the writer that if executed competently, it would have every chance of success." So, people actually experimented and actually started doing research on this. And Adams actually took some dummy bombs to Washington for demonstration.
Dummy bombs.
Yeah.
It's so insulting to the bomb.
And they actually did a couple of these demonstrations, and they were all and they were actually impressed by this. So the U.S. Air Force gave authority for investigations to begin on how to officially do bat bombs to get back at Japan. So it was March of 1943, and the subject of the letter was "Test of Method to Scatter Incendiaries." So they were basically...
That's a nightmare title.
Yeah. They were basically trying to figure out how to use bats to carry small incendiary bombs into enemy targets. So basically just to cause... People. Yeah, basically just cause little fires. And they called this Project X-Ray.
That's a good... Man, they always have the best...
cool.
Best project names. Like Operation Upshot Knot Hole.
So, the Army captured thousands of bats from the Southwest, mostly these Mexican free-tailed bats, and they designed tiny little bombs for these bats.
They were just cute little...
But obviously, things were a little more complex than they would think it would be.
The bats were a little smarter.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they didn't really know how to transport all these bats. So this is the thing that bothers me.
I know exactly. I know the story. It's messed up.
They would put them in hibernating mode while they were shipped. So they would stick them in ice cube trays and cool them so So they basically froze these bats. And then they had to figure out how to like actually release them in the air. So they made this like cardboard container that was supposed to automatically open and release them. But
From a frozen state.
yeah, from a frozen state.
my
They're
And then
basically
just
ice
wake
cube
up.
trays, and then all of a sudden they're flying through the air like, what? Hold on,
Right.
good morning.
Well,
Jeez.
as assumed, this didn't really go as planned. There was like a lot of things that needed to be fine-tuned because at some point, some loaded incendiary bats were accidentally released and pretty much just caused a huge fire in the Carlsbad Army Airfield Auxiliary
Oh
Air
my
Base.
God. Really?
Just flew right into like a barn
Yeah,
and
they
lit
just,
it up.
Yeah, pretty much. They just
Oh my God.
a whole hangar and like some general's car was just burned.
Did anyone die?
No one died.
Okay,
But,
now I feel better laughing. What dumbasses.
Yeah.
He's just like drunken bats with bombs.
What could
Oh,
go
I
wrong?
read that.
'Cause when you
Yeah.
look at a huge, massive bats, you think precision.
Yeah. How do you like control like where bats go?
They can't control it
No,
after
yeah.
They're like, why is this so bright? I don't know what's going. Bam.
And also, you don't think those bats just dropped those bombs off. Obviously, they were a part of that. So,
Suicide bombers.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, as far as I can tell, I don't really think the bats were just like, and this is an
And
incendiary
now-
bomb, and I'm just going to put it here, and I'm just going to fly my little bat life
Take that,
away.
Tojo.
Like, bye. No, that's not happening. So that was around March of 1943. In December of 1943, the Marine Corps took over the program. They started doing more tests.
Lasted a lot longer than I thought it was.
And after 30 demonstrations, and this is 1943, and $2 million spent, it finally was canceled. The project was canceled.
And this is what year?
1943.
1943. $2 million in 1943.
$2 million in 1943.
And this was Project X-Ray.
Project X-Ray.
Ah, so
And it was
cool.
30 demonstrations.
30
which means
demonstrations.
29 of them were kind of like, I don't really know about this, which I can't even imagine what that would look like with bat bombs.
Amazing.
I feel like that's way more demonstrations
Then
than
you
really
need to
needed.
demonstrate.
Like,
Right.
what were they trying to keep doing? What was the controlled thing they were trying to figure out?
Set
Like,
that building on fire.
I think
they
it's
just like
probably
they
just
just like
so
held up a bat and they're like, "You go over there. You tell your friends."
Go, do.
I just think it's probably so badass looking they had to keep doing it. They're like, okay, did just a bunch of bats just blow up? Did it do anything? No, but it was so cool. We got to do this again.
Something with bats and bombs. Like, we just got to figure it out.
It's got to be figured out because this guy's definitely not a nut. He's not a nut.
The president
We
said so.
figured it
Vouched
out.
for him.
Roosevelt signed off on this. We got to do this. The other reason why this was canceled was because they figured something else out that was a lot better. The atomic bomb.
Oh,
a little more
geez.
effective, a little
Well,
more
yeah.
to the point.
So the White House is apparently very gung-ho about this project, but it just didn't follow through.
It just didn't
figure it
fly.
out. Just didn't fly. Oh, why still my puns tonight?
Yeah, you don't like.
Is that the second
you're
time?
very
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, you had a pun earlier.
Wait, is that bad?
Of course, Dr. Adams was very disappointed his bat project didn't work. He did come up with a few other crazy schemes, some of which include seed packet bombs. And I wish I'd looked into this one because I don't really know what the hell this means. A fried chicken vending machine.
Bomb?
Oh, nice.
Hold on. Oh, wait. Go back. Say that again.
A fried chicken vending machine.
I want us all to think about it for a moment.
Yeah.
And just imagine the glory that could be.
Smells.
Oh, God.
Those would also probably catch on fire.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
And
think
you could
this guy
probably
just wanted to watch the world burn.
Yes.
This guy's a freaking joker.
Yeah.
What a punk.
So, though Adams was let down by all of this, the one thing we can know is that the bats are probably pretty happy about it. So,
The bats rejoiced.
yeah.
Well, we have bats. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you think these bats have bombs?
They look like they have
Yeah,
bombs.
they look like they have bombs on them.
Why do
Tiny,
bats-
tiny little incendiary bat
What
bombs.
is so funny? You have to
It's just because they're bats.
stop. You're being
They have cute little
so
faces.
loud.
For sure.
You keep making that noise. You're
Kaz,
gonna
Yeah,
come
that's
down
gonna
here.
make them. Oh god,
Don't, you're
that
making bat noises.
It's just when
He's
I
disrupting.
laugh. It's so
You've never laughed like that ever.
Are you on
I always
ketamine?
It's just,
He's on ketamine.
Oh my god, he's turning into a dolphin.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do now.
All right, boss, and bats.
Oh, okay. All
Oh
right.
god.
Cave is getting
Oh
very
god, here it
loud now.
goes. It's happening. Oh. Oh, there they go.
Oh my god!
Oh God!
They're in my hair. They're in my beautiful hair.
I got
Mine too.
Oh, I got bad
They're in my hair.
Felix,
I'm on
Felix,
fire
change the
with
channel.
I'm on fire with bats.
Felix, change the channel,
Felix, we
you
need to get out of
idiot.
here.
This
Something
is
is seriously
ridiculous.
wrong with
I don't like
9:31.
this.
I'm on fire with
Alright,
babies. The bombs aren't even that big. I mean, they were gonna be like acorns. You got this bat spaghetti sauce all over you now. That's fine. But if you want to be big crybaby bastards about it, how about this?
All right, so
What is like an operating room? What are we?
what's going on?
This is
Okay,
gross. It's also dark.
I'm getting tired of just every time reality changes and we have no idea where the fuck we are, man.
Anybody else have a really bad headache when that happens?
I always have a really bad headache.
What? You gotta get that checked out, my man.
Really? I don't know. I thought,
Yeah,
I thought
that's bad.
You don't wake up with like screaming pain behind your eyeballs, and
no.
then the rest of
I-
the day you just
no.
try to figure out ways to
When you switch
push
to
the pain.
wine,
No.
and then start drinking water at night, then you'd be all right.
We're in either like a mad scientist lab. Oh,
Yeah.
careful there.
Doesn't
What
seem like
the
a
hell?
hospital.
Yeah.
Seems creepier than that.
The guy that has this lab might be an actual nut. I
Yeah.
can't tell.
Well, a lot of
It
this stuff
could be
looks
him.
broken, or it's not even monitored or
Mad
anything.
scientist,
Cass,
sort of
looks like there's a dead body over there. Can you go
experimentation.
there? Just
Oh, great. There's a lot of blood on that sheet. There's a lot of blood
it's
on
not
that
really
sheet.
bloody sheet.
It's not a dead body because you can see it's kind of like this heart looks thing
Dead
is
to me.
beeping.
Look at the blood.
Well, it does have the machine that
Doesn't
goes.
look good.
Oh my God. Well then, Kaz, can you kill this thing, please?
Is it
Whatever this is.
Should we find
just-
out what it is? I'm gonna find out what it is.
No.
Get
Don't
it away
touch
from
the
me.
blood part. Gross.
Don't touch that sheet, dude.
I'll just pull it away.
No.
It's moving.
Yes, leave it.
Yeah, the
leave it
sheet
to
should be moving if he's
Let's
pulling it
go.
away.
Let
Yes.
the moving bloody thing stay. Just don't.
Whoa,
touch
did
it.
you just?
It's making me
smells
sick.
awful.
It's making me sick, dude.
Oh, it smells so bad.
I'm gonna grab the sheet.
Don't touch the sheet. Don't do
It's
it.
just- there's no,
Man,
there's,
what are
how
you
can there be
doing?
something good under
Don't.
there? It's a
Don't touch
bloody
the blood
moving
part.
sheet, and
I
so you're like,
can
oh,
smell the blood.
You know what?
Right.
Screw it. I'm pulling it away. Here. It's a dog. It's a puppy.
That's not a dog or a puppy. It's got like a.
It's a dog.
It's
It
a
looks like
dog, but it's
No.
got a tiny body and a huge head. That's two different dogs.
Sometimes they interbreed or whatever. Dogs look
No,
weird.
but it's not like that. You don't get a husky head and a dachshund body.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
exactly
God,
what that
that's
looks
weird.
like.
It's like a wolf wiener. It's a wiener wolf dog.
Yeah.
It has two different hairstyles. That's definitely weird.
Yeah,
I'm glad
this
it's
This is
uniform.
strange.
Yeah, it seems like it's got like
He looks happy though.
two
He's
different
smiling at me.
pelts. Oh, he's so-
Yeah, kind
Don't
of.
pet it. Don't pet it. Just, Kaz, why are you petting the freaky
He's a
dog
good
thing?
boy.
No, he's not. He's a bad,
I mean,
evil creature from hell.
Why?
I have a rubber
Why are
ducky.
you so angry about this dog?
Look at it. It's got two different dogs. It's two different dogs. It's not one dog. It's two dogs.
Hello, friends. Would you happen to have a bowl of vodka handy? I seem to have developed a terrible thirst under that sheet.
So it's
He
definitely
is-
a hybrid dog, but it's not a Russian accent.
It was
It's like-
Crimean, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's like a
from
Russian,
Croatian.
Siberian sort of
Okay.
thing.
Definitely
Alright.
kind of an Eastern Asian.
Yeah, but that's. Wait a minute.
It was interesting.
Slavic?
Slavic?
Good at speaking English.
Yeah, for a dog, for a double dog hybrid, it had a pretty good grasp of the words.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I do. No, I'm not that great with picking out accents, and neither is this dog at saying them. But
You don't know
it
that.
sounds kind of Russian.
Kind
it's,
of.
It's kind of
Vaguely.
it's kind of Russian.
One of the
it's a dog.
Assistans, Kazakhstan.
There's a lot going on here.
It's a heady brew. It's a heady brew.
It's a good one.
This reminds me a lot of. Have you ever heard of Russian zombie dogs?
No.
Is that actually, is that a Gargamel song?
It should be, but it won't be because this is disturbing and disgusting and massive trigger warning. Massive trigger warning. If you care about animals, trigger warning. Trigger warning. Horrible, horrible. You will hug a bat bomb and take it out to dinner before a Russian zombie dog, okay? So, once again, buckle up, strap in. And normally when I research these stories, I like to watch some different videos and watch other people's takes. There's a bunch of videos on this. I wouldn't watch a fucking one of them, okay? I'm not going to watch a fucking one. You shouldn't watch a fucking one of them. This is not good. So in 1940, a video became available of experiments that were taking place in Russia using parts of dead animals, dogs in this case, being reanimated using machinery and other techniques. And like I said, there's plenty of them. And one of the main videos shows a severed dog head hooked up to a heart-lung machine called the autochector. as the machine begins to pump, the dog's head slowly returns to life, and the scientists begin to basically fucking torment this poor reanimated dog head to show, look, it's still alive. They took an acid-dipped Q-tip and put it in its nose to watch it lick its nose, the severed dog head. And it showed it twitching its ears, and it stayed alive for a while. And so there are more and more experiments that are conducted in 1954 by a Soviet scientist, Vladimir Dimitrov. Yet instead of keeping a dog alive with the machine, he connected a dog to the vital organs of another animal, like we're looking on this fucking bloody table right fucking here.
Wow.
So
I mean, this looks a lot cleaner than that.
Yeah.
It's just got the head. It's like almost like Mars Attacks.
Oh, yeah. Good reference.
Yeah.
Okay, and now,
Like
It does.
okay.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that movie is way underrated.
Fantastic
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
right?
right?
It's
Very much.
such a great movie.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Now, I'm going to quote right here, and once again, trigger. So, the bats disturbed you? Demikov chopped a puppy in half just below its forearms and grafted onto the neck of a mature dog. Yeah. Creating 20 of these. This guy created 20 of these two-headed creatures, and of course they didn't live that long. A month at the longest was the month that it had the longest. And then other people started, and here in the U.S. we're like, hey, let's try to do that too with the monkeys. We started chopping it off monkeys and putting it onto other monkeys. And yeah, we started doing it too because everyone on Earth are horrible creatures. We're all horrible creatures. Every
You have
one
to
of
get
us.
funding for this. Like we saw with bat bombs. Like someone's got to do like approval and contract things to get this done.
Yeah, where was Roosevelt?
Yeah,
Right.
No
These
doubt.
dudes are probably nuts. Like maybe we don't go for this. Like,
Yeah, Roosevelt would be like, this guy's nuts. Don't do this.
One of the instances, they transplanted a head of a monkey onto another head of a monkey, and it stayed alive, but all it did is glare at the scientist.
Wow.
That's all it did, is just sit there like, kill me, just kill me. Why did you make this? And so that's basically all I can say about the Russian zombie dogs. It's a horrible, horrible point in history where people did horrible things, and they're still doing horrible things. We just don't hear about them. But so Russian zombie dogs are a bad, bad, bad thing. And what's underneath that thing that we're looking at is a zombie dog that's got a husky dog
Wait a
on a
minute.
dachshund body
Why are you
that's
so
really bad.
angry at the dog? It's not
Exactly.
its fault.
Are you
No, I'm
torn
not,
to think
because
this-
there's someone around here that did it, and I want to find him,
that
and I
is
want to
true.
beat him with a stick.
Well, ask
Yeah.
the dog.
Well, the
Dog.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who did this?
Dog. Are you Russian?
I'm slightly Russian except for the vodka because I'm a dog. You can't give vodka to dogs.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine. That's valid.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
On
Thank you,
second
dog.
thought, I'm now zombie dog. Give me vodka. I would like dog
He
vodka.
deserves it.
Doggy vodka.
Dude, they probably make doggy.
Make doggy
They have
vodka.
dog wine.
Tavrish, baby. Let these poor souls leave this abattoir and return to something more palatable.
I can never say no to you, Husky Hound. All right. You eating okay? How you doing? You look a little weird. You all right?
Complain on the
Show me your quads.
Oh, look at them.
They look great. All right. Yeah.
Except
All right.
those are little Dachshund. That's a little Dachshund. I'm usually big husky. That's a little Dachshund. They got the little six-pack.
Yeah. Well, you look good.
Huh.
Just a little weird. All right. Yeah, I got 'em, no worries. So, this thing is huge. Look at
I
this.
know, but
It's
come
like
on.
a hangar.
Whoa.
It's like,
Wait a
is this like the
minute.
vehicle assembly building or something here?
How is
The
this so
VAB.
wide?
Nice.
Nice.
Hello!
Oh, look, actually, yeah, there's a little.
Hello!
What's that,
See
little
a tunnel?
spotlight?
Okay.
There's a light up there.
Looks
Where-
like it might
is
be
this a
where we.
stage?
We definitely. It feels like underground.
It does.
It does.
It's kind of cold and
It's hoodie
wet.
hoodie
It is.
temperature.
Ooh.
It's
hoodie.
damp.
Okay.
What's that sound?
It sounds like somebody writing
It's like-
or somebody like a rat scratching at something.
Oh, God. Is it rats or is it bat rats?
Yeah.
Or
Wait,
is
hold
it
on.
This
rat
looks very
bombs?
cool.
Rat bombs.
It sounds like it's more coding.
Who's that over there?
wait.
who's that
Yeah.
person?
Number 23. What the fuck are you doing here?
Get down!
Whoa, we really committed to fear on that. What's going on here?
Why are
I'm
you
not
ducking?
afraid. It's just another
She's
Angela.
Really,
Come
she's
on.
really far away.
No, I'm afraid of Angela.
I
should
know it's
be.
you, 23.
Shut up.
We're gonna have a talk about this when I finally figure out what the fuck is going on.
She dropped something down here. Let me check this out. real quick.
Get that. What the hell is it?
Don't, no. Throw it back to her.
Listen, Felix part.
What are you doing? What?
Strange
Give me
words.
that.
Wait, that's my uncle.
What did?
Man,
So
she's got some problems about that, man.
Today it's
What-
very authoritative.
Yeah,
right?
she
Like,
seems to be really stepping up her
something's
game
going on.
tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Give me that. Dude, this isn't German. Shut the fuck up. You can barely read English.
But it's definitely a burn. This, you know what? This whole thing, it's like a big loop. We're underground, clearly, and this looks very scientific. There's this clipboard. It's got German writing on it,
Yeah, right.
which leads me to believe that we're somewhere in Switzerland.
Huh? They speak German in
I see
Switzerland.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they do.
Oh, yeah.
This is reminding me heavily of the Large Hadron Collider. Do you guys know about
It's in the city of Colonel.
that? No, it's under Geneva.
Damn it.
Good
It's on
guess,
the-
though, buddy.
the
Good
bor-
guess.
I tried.
Border of France and Switzerland under Geneva, about 17 miles in diameter, circumference, excuse me.
Jesus
and
Christ, are you kidding me?
574 feet below ground.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a bit of a project.
The largest scientific machine constructed in human history, basically. This is the biggest. So the purpose of this thing, this big hoop, is that they throw different particles at each other and smash them together and then record the impact, the collision, and then have to attempt to determine different laws of subatomic particles based on the impact of that collision between these particles. So usually it's protons and electrons that they shoot along these beams, these magnetically controlled beams, and they smash into each other, and then they record that result of that, what happens to the breakup of those protons and electrons into even further subatomic particles, quarks, muons.
Is it opposing? Is it a positive negative, or is it a positive positive? Like, so protons
It's two
and
separate
electrons.
particles. Well, they're smashing them together, so I don't think it has to do with their positive or negative
Right.
charge.
It's just
But is it an
different
actual
experiments.
smash?
Oh, yeah, they
Like
whip
like
them. They're going around the 17-mile thing, whipping around and right into each other.
Wow.
Like I said, the primary use for this is going to be to record the arrangement of subatomic particles after a proton, which is one of the smallest units of matter that we
Yeah.
can conceive of.
It's a
The even smaller
particle, I guess.
Even smaller than that would be muons and quarks and things like that. And then even smaller than that, they believe there are other particles, one of them being the Higgs boson.
Boson.
Is that the God particle?
Yes.
Basically a further subatomic particle that would be from what I understand, and again, the physics on this gets extremely dense, but would be, I guess, core to several different differing proton-electron configurations. That's something that, from these different variations, there's something that's the same within them, and they're trying to find this one particular particle which has a certain mathematical density, gravity. There's all these tetra electron volts, TeVs. So this was a huge undertaking. Initially was financed at $2.2 billion in 90-something.
Damn.
Chump change.
In the 90s, though?
Yeah, it started in
Shut up,
98.
Bandit.
That's walking around money.
Currently at, I believe I saw the figure at 14 billion. They had to basically, upon further review and what they needed to have for these experiments to actually pull off, the number grew astronomically. And this is one of the largest science experiment undertakings that mankind has ever 32 different countries, 100 different universities and labs across the world.
Damn.
They have an entire computer network set up to record the immense amount of data that comes out of each individual experiment that they do. And these different universities have to collaborate and figure out what happened during these particle collisions.
Imagine compiling all of that data and then trying to track electron particles breaking up through all of your computer software.
Now stop.
In the 90s.
Right. You're a scientist. If you just imagine that.
That's what they dig. That's what that's part of the game. I mean, having to sift through that data. It's basically like panning for gold. You're just going through all the silt until you find that one little nugget where you see the correlation that you're looking for. Boom, there it is.
Silt nugget.
Your colleague is like, I found it. Just walk over. It's like RDR2. Just shoot her in the head and take her gold nugget.
I got what I needs.
Shoot the Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
Dr. Smith, what are you doing?
So I found this interesting. First of all, a lot of this is off the Wikipedia article, which people don't like that. When you say that, it kind of sounds like you're going to Walmart for your information. However, I challenge you. Any
back.
one of you who thinks you know anything about anything,
It's
look
backed.
it up on Wikipedia and tell me that doesn't have more information. on
Okay,
it.
if you're talking about a Kardashian, then someone might go and say, "Oh, and her butt is made of gold" or something. I mean, when it comes to actual science in there, why would someone troll it? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you can find science on there, and it's fairly solid, and it's cited.
I heard actually that her butt was made of gold.
It actually
Solid
is.
gold.
Solid gold.
Oh, I heard it
Solid
from
gold.
Ian.
Solid
That's
gold.
true. Just now.
The purpose of the Large Hadron Collider was to solve several different quantum mechanic problems or theories, prove them out. And a couple of the ones that I liked were, is the mass of elementary particles being generated by the Higgs mechanism via electroweak symmetry breaking,
Oh, my fave.
right?
That old nugget.
So there was
The
a
favorite of mine.
there's a I guess a model of physics called the Standard Model, which basically subscribes to the existence of a Higgs boson particle, but hasn't been detected. We haven't had the science available to detect this actual particle, but mathematically it's been proven out. So that's part of the Standard Model of physics. There's also the Higgless model, which
Sexy.
So wait, the other one was like Schrodinger's particle. Like you're just like you're not really sure if it exists or not.
well,
But mathematically, they've
right.
never seen it, but mathematically,
correct. It
it
exists.
is.
And also the fact when you're dealing with quantum physics, there's a whole issue with when you observe it. When you observe it at a quantum level, you're changing it, and so it's that's not relativity. It just has to do with just the observation of paradox.
In relation to Ant-Man, how far
Boom.
did he go with this?
Right up Thanos' butthole.
Hey, come on, spoilers.
Right?
Come on, even
Damn.
I know
Supposedly, some of these experiments are designed to at least start to prove out the initial multi-dimension string theories, I guess, that are out there, in that they want to account for the loss or gain of different subatomic particles or weights. And again, like going through this, it was just like sigma. This is 3.5 sigmas, which means it's not provable, but 4.5 was almost provable, and it's just like a lot of very dense physics stuff. But one of the interesting things that happened during the initial tests was they had what was called the Quench Incident.
That's badass sounding.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Quench
And
Incident.
look for it.
We got X-ray, we got Quench.
September 2008, a magnetic quench occurred when
What
100
is that?
100 bending.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, you got to snort. I think that might be the first for it snort on that
No,
one,
there's been
man.
there's been others.
That's a good one.
September 2008, a magnetic quench occurred when about 100 bending magnets in sectors 3 and 4, which, those are the dangerous sections. Right? Those are,
Man.
you gotta be
Always.
careful
always.
with those. An electrical fault tied to a loss of approximately 6 tons of liquid helium, which vented into the tunnel. The escaping vapor expanded with explosive force, damaging about 53 superconducting magnets and their mountings, and basically ruined the vacuum conditions of the actual pipe that they were beaming the particles through.
6
And-
tons of it got through?
6 tons. 6 tons initially with explosive force, and then an additional 4 tons, I believe, leaked out afterwards during after it had been depressurized or whatever.
So this shit was fucked all the fuck
Yeah.
up.
So, and this was.
Technically.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
The actual official
official papers.
the official CERN report was fucked all the way the fuck up, whatever that acronym is. Most likely the cause the fault was a faulty electrical connection between 2 magnets, and that it created an arc between them. There was some type of power failure. It created an arc which caused one of them to fail, and then caused the liquid helium inside to raise to a dangerous temperature, which it expanded and then blew the whole shit all the way the fuck up.
Oh man.
All the fuck the way up. It'd be great if
All
newscasters
of it.
talk about, and then it blew all the fuck the way up.
So they
Back
were
to you, Jill.
They were down for 14 months repairing this, and it cost somewhere a couple billion, I believe,
Did,
Jump
to actually
change.
get it.
did anyone get killed?
Or
So
mutated.
one person did
Right.
die, but not during that the Quench incident. Jose Perea Lagas, a technician, was killed when a switchgear that was being transported fell on top of it.
Oh.
So, more of kind of just a failure. Of,
Oopsie daisy.
there's a little bit of an oopsie. I mean, a pretty serious oopsie.
An
But
ocean nightmare.
A death-causing oopsie. Death by oopsie.
Those happen.
And there were additional vacuum leaks that they detected and were able to repair without like too much damage to it. But that was like the main thing, the Quench incident, which kind of fucked everything up for a little over a year. So I thought this was interesting. There's a lot of I guess fear, misunderstanding about what was going on there. Some people thought it was this like super weapon.
Yeah, hell yeah, I did, man.
Black holes
Come
or
on.
some
you
shit
gonna
like
make a
that.
black hole in the middle of my Earth? Not on my watch.
At least if they're doing it in France, that's all right,
Why
right?
is
Like, I
it
don't
your
care.
Earth?
And your watch. Like, when does your watch end?
Because I bought a handgun.
I guess that's how it works.
Started shooting into the Earth.
Not this time, Large Hadron Collider.
Hey,
So yeah, people thought it was going to make like black holes, or they were going to blow up the Earth, or whatever. But one of the more interesting results of one of these experiments was the creation of particles they called strangelets.
Wow, getting strange.
Strangelets.
Getting some strange.
I can tell you guys have been married for a while. Strangelets is a hypothetical. It's so I'm quoting from the Wikipedia article. Strangelet is a hypothetical particle consisting of a bound state of roughly equal numbers of up, down, and strange quarks. Which again, those are like the subatomic particles. Have those weird names like luck and charm and up and all that stuff. So, an equivalent description is that a strangelet is a small fragment of strange matter. Strange
Nice.
matter
It's
is
very vague and open.
Yeah.
strange matter is
Strange.
a particular form of quark matter, usually thought of as a liquid of up, down, and strange quarks. So even at the subatomic level, they're still like subscribing to these like physical, like, solid, liquid, gas,
Right.
and the way that they manipulate each other or interact with each other. So I don't know. I forgot who the Greek philosopher was, but he talked about doesn't matter how much further down we look, it continues to get more chaotic.
Sounds almost like fractals, almost in a way, but fractals are organized where chaos is not.
That's
the thing.
The very specific and scientific description of what goes on at the Ladra Hadron Collider.
Looking for the Hertzberg.
Time, come in. We've secured this channel. Felix shouldn't be able to hear this.
Oh, cool. Look, you know how to do your job.
We think
What's
we
up?
found a way to get you back. The others, not so sure.
What do you mean not so sure?
Okay, huh? We were right here again.
We can hear both of you.
This is lame.
I don't understand why she didn't take the necessary precautions when we mentioned it about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Collateral damage. Spit it out, 47. What's your theory?
If we can get living and dead Felix particles to collide with enough force, we might be able to create a cluster of strangelet black holes capable of propelling us, back into time.
Exactly.
We just need to somehow get a bit of the dead body and a bit of the living body as well.
Fuck.
You guys want any popcorn? Made it with the Hydro Colliders.
Oh, wow, that's really nice. Wow,
Go ahead,
you can
take some
really
cash.
taste this
Hydron.
Hydrogen.
Angela, do you need any
It's truffly.
popcorn?
It's vaguely truffly.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah. And are we getting out of here? Can we go home? No.
No, it's fine.
I don't know about this. I'm
Snitching.
I'm turning you weirdos off. Schmutzy being weird. I think I think.
You don't know the sex
Pronouns.
of your cat?
Pronouns, man.
We have this
We're gonna
huge
have a
relationship.
throwdown in here.
All right. I think Schmutzy Schmutzy just beat me at arm wrestling. So I don't.
What are you arm wrestling
I don't know
cat for?
what that was.
Look at
I
claws.
gotta go. I gotta go work out. All right, later, taters.
What?